Hello and welcome to this yin class. My name is Kate. Today practicing I have Lindsay and Aaliyah here with me. If you're practicing along with us at home, I recommend having a bolster, 2 blankets, and 2 blocks for this class. If you don't have those exact props, other things you have at home can be substituted in. So a body pillow instead of a bolster. If you have towels or just regular lounging blankets, that's fine. Ideally you do have 2 blocks, but a stack of books can also work. So the practice of yin yoga is a really powerful one because it helps to pull us fully into the present moment. I recently had an experience, and I've self-admittedly have had experiences like this much throughout my life, where there was something happening and I was very worried about what someone might like the reaction someone might have, right? Something happened in my life and I thought, oh my gosh, we're going to tell people this whole thing and all of these people are going to be angry. And I got myself pretty worked up about that. Hours spent stressing and filled with anxiety about what might happen. And then I spoke about the thing and no one was upset, and none of that ever came to fruition. And it was this reminder of the fact that so much of the anxiety that we feel in our lives is our mind projecting things that may happen in the future. And probably 80% of the time, those things that we fear never actually happen. And how much wasted time is then spent with anxiety, with stress, with negative feelings for something that's never actually a reality, that's not actually the truth. And the beautiful thing about the yin yoga practice and helping to pull us into the present moment is that it teaches us how to be in the here and now. It teaches us how to sit sometimes in discomfort or sensation that feels a little challenging, but learn to just come back to the breath and to understand that there is relief on the other side, that what happens in the future is unpredictable, and it makes more sense for us to live fully in the present, connected to the depths of who we are. So today, as we practice together, we'll work with that a little bit, this idea of connecting your body and your breath and allowing your mind to be fully present into what's happening in this moment. So come to a comfortable seat. That can be sitting up on a bolster like we are, or maybe you're up on a blanket or a block, or flat on your mat, whatever feels best for you. But just try to have your knees lower than your hips so that your spine can rise up nice and tall. Close your eyes. Let your hands come to rest gently on your thighs. And let's take 3 arriving breaths. Take a big breath in through your nose. Exhale and sigh it out your mouth. 2 more just like that. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth, exhale. Good. 1 more breath in through your nose. Exhale and sigh it out your mouth. And now welcome yourself into the present moment as you arrive here fully on your mat. Check in with how you're feeling right now. Notice any sensation you feel in your physical body. Removing judgment around how it feels and just becoming aware. Where do you feel a little extra tension or tightness? Where do you feel open and spacious? Notice the pacing of your breath, not seeking to change it, but just acknowledging where your body rises to greet each breath in and releases with each breath out. Notice the state of your mind. Is it busy with thoughts, running through a to-do list, moving from thing to thing? Or do you feel grounded and steady and focused? And then as you sit and breathe, we'll start to link thoughts to breath and body. As you breathe in, I am breathing in. And as you breathe out, think, I am breathing out. Using the mind to label what's happening in the present. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. This simple phrase can be a tool to you throughout our practice today. As the mind wanders to any sensation you feel in the physical body or any other thoughts that enter, you come back to your breath. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. On your next inhale, take your palms to touch in prayer right at the center of your chest. Bow your head down to your heart. Set an intention for your practice today. Whatever it is that you need in this moment, allow this practice to serve that purpose. And then we'll join our voices in one sound of Om to begin. Take a full deep breath in. Om. Release your hands down onto your thighs and crack open your eyes. So we're going to start today in a heart bench. You can set your bolsters aside, blankets aside, and just reach for your 2 blocks. You'll take one block at its highest setting towards the back of your mat. And then you'll take your second block on the medial setting and set it in front. And that's going to be there to catch the space around your heart. So you want the edge of the block to fit right underneath your bra line so the whole upper chest can be lifted, as you see Lindsay's doing here. And then you'll take that top block and just nuzzle it in for the back of your head. So it comes right to the base of your skull. This allows your chin to dip ever so slightly towards your chest, which helps to relax the mind. And then you have a couple of choices. So option 1 with your legs, you can take your feet as wide as your mat and just bring your knees to knock into center to allow your legs to support each other. Or if it's okay on your low back, you can extend your legs out long and fully open up through the chest. Hands can fall by your sides, palms up. If you're looking for a little more energy, if you're ready to need some extra grounding, palms can always face down. Relax the muscles of your face and close your eyes if that feels okay for you. And as you breathe here, allow the props to begin to fully open up through your chest. Any tension that you're feeling around the space at your heart can slowly melt away. And notice how, as we open up the space around the heart, the lungs, the breath can be full, even. And just breathe, pulling yourself into this present moment. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. To open up our heart space requires a fair amount of courage and vulnerability, right? To lead your life from a place of love requires that you have faith that that love will be protected. Over time, as we move throughout our lives, we can learn that sharing love that we have within us can feel good whether it's received or not, right? We do not have control over how the outside world receives our actions. We can only control what actions we take. Over time, can you learn to open up your heart regardless of the outcome? Knowing that in living your own truth and sharing your own love that you have to give, eventually that love will come back to you in exponentially greater forms. It's not your job to decide how the universe delivers that love back, but to just trust that it will happen. Can you allow your breath to safely guide you in peeling back the layers around your heart? And if that gets overwhelming, you refocus on the present moment. In this moment, I am breathing in. And in this moment, I am breathing out. I am here on my mat and I am safe. I am loved and I am cared for. Breathing in and breathing out. Take another full breath in and another full breath out. If your legs are extended, rebend your knees, place your feet to the floor. Take your palms, face them down so that your forearms are rooted down beside you. And then use the press of your hands and your forearms, lead with your heart to come all the way up to a seated position. And then just pause here. Maybe you sit with the knees bent, maybe you cross your legs. Just allow a moment or two to notice the sensation you feel in your body. Good. Okay, and then we'll set up for our next pose. So we're going to set this up, it's almost like a pigeon pose shape. We're going to use our bolster here because we'll be there for a bit. So you can set your blocks aside for now. You're going to take your bolster horizontally, so across, like facing the short way of the mat, somewhat towards the front of your mat, like Lindsay's doing here, or yeah, Leah, you can slide it back a little bit so you have some space at the front. Yeah, okay. And then come to all fours, facing your bolster. Take your bring your hands in front of your bolster, Leah. Yeah, hands in front of your bolster. And then take your right foot and step it forward of your bolster. And heel toe your right foot all the way across to the left side of your mat. Release your hips down onto your bolster. Now, this can be a lot of sensation into the hips. If it feels like this is way too much with the shin parallel, all you're gonna do is lift your bolster up and slide your heel back a little closer to your pubic bone so your foot comes underneath your bolster. And then you'll extend that left leg back out long. If you're feeling super unbalanced in your hips, you can also grab for a blanket and slide that underneath the right hip to give yourself a little extra lift. So take a full deep breath in here. And then fold yourself forward out over your front leg. You might come down onto your forearms. You also might reach for a block or your blankets to bring it underneath your head for some extra grounding. Or sometimes it can feel nice to take one block under the head and even another block underneath the chest to help fully support the upper body. Give yourself permission to breathe here into the sensation, whatever that feels for you. Oftentimes, yin practice allows us to become aware of the habits of the mind. For me, often that can be, I can do this pose, this is no problem, which about 20 seconds later is then replaced with, oh my goodness, there's no way I can stay and hold this. To then reminding myself to come back to my breath. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. And then often just another moment or two of sitting in that sensation allows my body to accept the position that it's in. And that's when we can move into the deeper connective tissue, the fascia, those areas where we grip on and tend to hold on to tension and tightness, and encourage the body and the mind to understand that we are safe and that it is okay to let that go. The hips energetically are sometimes referred to as like the emotional dumping ground of the body. We can grip on to past fears, traumas, anxieties, and store them as tension in our hips, this area that connects the lower and upper body. This space where the root chakra, our sacral chakra, all kind of live in this general area. And yin practice gives us time and space to slowly release what we are no longer required to hold on to ease the body, to ease the mind into understanding that we are safe to create space and freedom in the body. That sometimes it's okay for us to let go. And when we do this guided by the breath, it allows us to maintain a sense of control that is connected to our deepest truth, to what is truly okay for us at our core. So as you breathe here into sensations in the hips, allow yourself to become fully present. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Take a full deep breath in and a full deep breath out. Move slowly. Use your forearms and your hands to support you as you lift your chest up. And then listen, you're going to lean over onto your right hip so that you have the space to bring your left leg all the way out in front of you. You can come to sit for a moment. Give your body a moment to integrate that fully. Then before we move to the other side, we're going to take a forward fold. So you'll now take that right leg, extend it out to the side. You can stay sitting up on your bolster if that feels okay. You can also lose the bolster for this point if you'd like. And then your left foot is just going to come to land right towards your inner thigh. Get a little taller as you breathe in, and then there's a slight twist. So let your chest release towards your right leg, fully relax through your ankle, and just release yourself into the forward fold out over your leg. Now you have the option to stay right here, let your body just be fully supported by gravity. If you're looking for a little extra grounding, you can always reach for your block to place that under your head, maybe 2 blocks, depending on the height that you're at right now. Yin is not about trying to force the chest, the belly to come to the thigh. It's about settling into where the body is right now in this moment and breathing in to the opening that you can create. And when we think of forward folds, often the thought goes right to the back of the leg, the opening up through the hamstring. But then sometimes, as we sit and we breathe and we hold, we find that these poses can bring attention to tension that we're holding in the back of the neck or the jaw or the space between the shoulders. Let this shape serve you wherever you are today, right now. Where can you find a greater sense of release and opening to create space in your body for energy to flow and good things to land? One of the things that I love about this practice is how it can serve as a metaphor for us in life. Right? It's hard sometimes to let go of ideas or situations, relationships, things that we've gripped onto because they feel familiar, even if they're not necessarily comfortable for us anymore. Even if we don't like them, but we know that there's safety in that discomfort because we know how to operate in that space. But for many of us, we always want and wish for more positive things to enter into our lives. Right? More freedom, more love, more joy, more happiness. But in order for those things to have a place to land, we have to let go of the things that are no longer serving us. In order to welcome in more joy, we may have to say farewell to certain fears that we're holding on to know that those fears served their purpose, but we're now able to set them aside and welcome in the good things that are waiting to land in our consciousness. How can you use this moment to find just a little bit more space in the body? To release just a little bit deeper. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Take a full deep breath in. And a full deep breath out. Move slowly. Start to restack the vertebrae of your spine. Come to sit up tall. And just take a moment to sit in any way that feels good for you. So that might be leaving your legs as they are. Maybe that's just bringing both feet out in front of you. Just take a moment to integrate that. Connecting back to your breath. Good. Then we're going to move to do the other side. So if you've come up off of your bolster, sit back on your bolster. Lean to your left and let your right leg come back behind you. So now your left foot is forward. Heel toe that over to the right side of your mat and check in. So this can feel different on each side. If there's too much sensation in the hip and it feels like there's no chance that you're going to be holding this for a few minutes, lift that bolster up and slide your heel closer to your pubic bone. Then extend the right leg out long behind you. Breathe in and let your head, chest, front body fold forward out over your front leg. Choose to set up possibly with a block or a blanket underneath your head, maybe underneath your chest as well. And just breathe here now into your left hip. Take a moment to notice any differences that you might feel compared to the first time you visited this on the other side. Acknowledging that there's imbalances that exist in our bodies, and that that's normal and that's okay. This practice helps us to recalibrate and bring the body back into balance by honoring what it is we need in this part of the body, in this pose, in this present moment, which is different than where we were a few minutes ago and different than where we'll go next. It's being here, right now, present with your body, present with your breath. Where can you encourage a bit more space? A sense of release. Permission to let go. Coming back to that idea of acknowledging that the hips often carry a fair amount of tension, energetically can hold onto things that have challenged us in the past. Sometimes things that we thought that we got over a long time ago. And by reconnecting deeply to our breath, we remind the body, the mind, both conscious and unconscious, that we are safe. And we trust that when it's time for us to release what no longer serves us, the universe will aid us in having a place for it to be carried away to. How deeply can you breathe? How much can you release? I am breathing in. I am breathing out. I am safe because I am breathing in. I am cared for because I am breathing out. Take a full deep breath in. And a full deep breath out. Move slowly. Use your forearms and your hands to lift your chest, your head up off of whatever's supporting you. And then you'll lean again to your left and bring your right leg all the way back out in front. And just pause for a moment here. Before then setting up for the forward fold on the other side. So you can stay sitting on your bolster or slide off. You'll extend your left leg out long now and let your right foot come to the inner left thigh. Sit up nice and tall as you breathe in. Find some length in your spine. Then just a slight twist towards your left leg as you fold forward and release the head, the neck, the chest, the belly over your leg. Maybe you sit here and just relax with gravity. Maybe you place a block or blanket underneath the head for a little extra grounding and support. Allow your leg to release in whatever position feels natural to you. So in our more active yoga practices, the hatha classes, vinyasa classes, we engage the big muscles of the body in order to help them stretch and find length, right? So in this shape, when we see them in our active classes, we might flex the foot and lift the quadricep to help extend the hamstring. But in the yin practice, the intention is different in how we approach the poses. We're not seeking to get into the belly of those muscles, but to rather look at targeting the connective tissue. And so that may mean that the foot rolls out to the side or rolls slightly in, that we don't go as deeply as we might do in an active class. This is about that surrounding area of the muscle, about meeting the body where it is and finding ease over time, using stillness and gravity to create space. And as we find that slow sense of release, we continuously use our inhale and our exhale to safely move deeper. Yin practice creates space for us to listen to the sound of our breath, to the whispers that come from the body. And to the deepest parts of ourselves. Oftentimes in yoga meditation, we present this idea of quieting the mind. And I understand that sentiment, but it's important to acknowledge that the mind's job is not to ever be completely quiet, but rather can we allow the habitual conscious mind, the one that seeks to distract us from the deep parts of ourselves, to take a step back so that we can draw inwards and acknowledge more of what's happening in the unconscious mind. Can we focus our thoughts? Connect more deeply and find some sense of stillness, groundedness, presence. So that maybe the mind isn't quiet, But in allowing the mind to be present, we're able to acknowledge more truth. Rather than allowing the mind to tell stories about what happens in the past, or to create what may happen in the future, we bring the mind to a sense of focused presence about what's actually true in the here and now. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Take another full breath in, and another full breath out. Slowly begin to rise all the way back up, restacking the vertebrae of your spine. And come to sit in a way that feels comfortable and natural to you, giving yourself a few moments of breath to acknowledge the sensations of the body. Good. And then set your props aside and come to all fours on your mat. Then nice and easy, begin to lower down onto your belly with your legs extended out long behind you. We're going to set up for a Sphinx pose. So you'll slide your forearms forward so that your elbows come right underneath your shoulders. And you can press into your forearms to lift your chest. So we're looking here to open across the collarbones. And you'll also feel some mild compression in the low back, which as we move slowly is safe to do for this part of the spine. If you're looking for a deeper sensation, you might press the palms of your hands down and begin to straighten your arms, but there's no pressure to do that. And if it feels like too much, you come back to the forearms. We'll breathe here. You can let your chin release towards your chest to open up through the back of your neck if that feels okay. But still continue to mindfully take your shoulders down away from your ears, so that the collarbones can stay broad and open. Relax any holding in your jaw, your cheekbones, around your eyes. The muscles of the face be soft. And as you breathe in this different position, the belly and the lungs more connected down towards the earth. Notice how that changes the experience of breath in the body. We move through life having our own internal experience, just us in our little bubble. But then our experience is also influenced by how the body and the mind relate to the world around us. The experience of breath is different when the chest is facing the sky versus when it faces the earth. What we internally are doing is the same. We're continuing to breathe in, to breathe out. But the circumstances around us have changed. Learning to acknowledge the balance between what we can control and what is happening around us, that which is out of control, is part of the practice of learning to navigate and move through this life. And these pockets of time we spend on our mat can serve almost as a laboratory for exploration, where we can learn lessons to then carry us throughout the day-to-day moments of our lives. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Take another full breath in. And another full breath out. If your arms are straightened, lower back down onto your forearms. Then look down, just place one palm over the other. Let your elbows come out to widen. Release your head onto the palms of your hands. Good. Just pause here for a moment. Feeling breath fill the whole back body as you come back to neutral. And slide your palms under your shoulders. Press yourself up to all fours. Then allow your big toes to touch as your knees come out wide. So before we come down towards Shavasana shortly, we're going to take a child's pose here. You have the choice to reach for your bolster, and you can slide that underneath your belly to support the whole upper body if you're looking for something a little bit more towards the restorative side of things. Otherwise, just allow your head to release down onto your mat. And if you'd like to find a bit more opening across the chest and the heart space, you have the option to take the palms to touch in prayer, to bend your elbows and take that prayer behind your head towards that space between your shoulder blades like Lindsay's doing here. You make the choice that works best for you, honoring the sensation that you're seeking in your own body. Breathe into wherever you feel sensation in your physical body. The creases of your hips, the space behind your knees. Feel your ribs expand from side to side as you breathe in, and draw towards the abdomen as you breathe out. Allow yourself to begin to settle. This shape is a great one to tell the mind that you're safe. All of the vital internal organs are cocooned towards each other in a way that feels very protected and gives the mind permission to slow down and to drop into those deeper spaces of relaxation and restoration. Child's pose can be extremely calming for the nervous system. It's a shape of gratitude, of reverence. We have a moment to give thanks for all of the good that we already have in our lives and all that is seeking to enter into our energetic plane. Take a full deep breath in and a full deep breath out. Slowly bring yourself all the way back up to a seated position. Allow the head to rise. Move in a way that feels intuitive for you, and just give yourself just a moment to come back to breath. And then we'll set up for Shavasana now. So you have many props at your disposal. I recommend taking a blanket under the head. It can feel really nice. And if you do so, like Lindsay just opened up her blanket there, folded it in half the short way. The folded edge will come underneath the neck and serve as a pillow for the head. And then it can feel really nice to slide the bolster underneath your knees or your thighs as a support for the leg. Or if you're looking for extra grounding, the bolster sometimes over the hips can feel really great too. So you choose the Shavasana setup that feels best for you. The body temperature can also lower quite a bit as we do yin. So if you have 2 blankets and you'd like to fully cover yourself, since you may have cooled down, that can definitely feel a bit restful and more supportive as you come into final relaxation. So you'll come to lay back, down onto your mat. Let your hands release down by your sides. Close your eyes. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. And feel the full weight of your body, fully supported by the ground beneath you. Notice that wherever your body touches your mat, your props, the earth meets it and supports it, giving you the ability to drop further down, to release more. But then also become aware of the lightness that can exist across the front body. As you breathe in, from the crown of the head down to the soles of your feet, feel the air surrounding you and gently wash over the front body. A sense of buoyancy and lightness, bringing the front body closer to the sky. Back body connected to earth. Front body to sky. So that you are fully held in both directions. The balance between the inhale and the exhale. The yin, the yang, the sun, the moon, the heat, the cold. This universe exists in the constant seeking of balance and balancing. And it is in that balance that our bodies, our minds, our souls exist in the present. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. start to deepen your breath. Bringing your mind back from wherever it may have traveled. And slowly ease the body back into the present moment by wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe rocking your head from side to side. Taking any small, gentle movements that feel natural to you. And then when you're ready, roll to one side. Bring your knees towards your chest and pause. And then lift yourself all the way up to a comfortable, easy seated position. And once again, allow your hands to rest gently on your thighs. Inhale fully and exhale completely. Bring your palms to touch in prayer right at the center of your chest. Bow your head to your heart. Recall the intention you set at the start of your practice today, and thank yourself for finding the time to come to your mat and to honor that intention by joining your mind, your body, and your breath. And I thank you so very much for sharing your energy and your practice with me today. Love and light to you. You can release your hands, slowly crack open your eyes. Thank you again for joining us for this yin practice, and I hope to see you again soon.